Welcome everyone to today's webinar. Who knew a portal could do so much? Later in the webinar, I will explain why we chose that title. Today we will take you on a journey through what the portal functionality of SRC PIM has to offer. When I say we, I mean myself. My name is Pieter Verhooyen. I'm marketing manager at SRC. And today I'm joined by my colleague, Patrick Koester, who is senior PIM consultant at SRC. So let's have a look at the agenda for today. First, I will do a brief introduction to what the portal functionality entails. After that, Patrick will do a deep dive into the functionality to actually how does it work and how do you set everything up. I will then discuss the journey of our customer, Jumbo, who uses the portal functionality to achieve and maintain product data excellence. After that, we will do a short Q&A and we will close the webinar with some useful information on SRC PIM and the features that we have to offer. You can ask questions during this webinar in the questions panel from GoToWebinar that looks a little something like this. You can ask questions during the whole webinar, but we will only answer them during after the presentation of the Jumbo case. So our presentations just go according as we planned. So let me introduce you to the portal functionality. Are you familiar with one of these scenarios? Your suppliers provide product data in all kinds of ways: Excel, email, PDF, Word, GS1, you name it. You have local shops and they want to add their own products to the range, local products, for example. Or you have retail partners and they ask you for all kinds of different information. To continue in this webinar, we are zooming in on scenario 1, the supplier portal. But you have to know in any case, the portal functionality can also be used to tackle the challenges of scenario 2, 3, or even other scenarios. There's really a lot you can do with the portal. So let's go to a poll. How are you receiving product data from your suppliers right now? Let's give me a second to launch the poll for you. There we go. So how are you receiving product data from your suppliers right now? Multiple answers are possible, of course, because you might have a lot of suppliers. Are you receiving them through PDF documents, Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, GS1 data pool, maybe other as well? If there are other means of collecting product data, please tell us in the chat or in the questions box. I'm really curious to know. I see already a lot of answers coming in, but don't hesitate to vote. All right, I'm closing the poll and sharing the results with you. So a majority says 78% is still receiving product data to an Excel spreadsheet. Then comes the PDF document and the GS1 data pool. Word documents are apparently not that popular anymore. So with that known, let's go and give you a short introduction on the portal. So this is the situation without the supplier portal. You are getting the information from your suppliers in different formats. You are getting information you don't need. You are missing information you do need. And the information that you are getting is not validated in any way. There's back and forth communication between you and your suppliers to get the information right, giving both you and your suppliers terrible headaches and nightmares. So how can a portal help? A portal is allowing your suppliers to easily upload their information to your portal. They have easy access and the information is easy to upload for them. You remain in control of what information needs to be communicated, how it needs to be communicated, so you decide on the format and the structure. It's your own data model, as to say. With the transmitted information from the supplier to you, you can start working immediately. There's no need for back and forth communication anymore. So this is how it's visualized. You have all kinds of suppliers providing all kinds of information. They log in on the supplier portal and the rich data is sent to you, to your supplier portal. So this is the ideal situation after implementing the supplier portal. In the new situation, you are using the supplier portal where your suppliers exactly know which information to provide in the format you need it. The information is validated at the supplier side. That's why you see the green checkboxes. It will only reach you when it is correct and full, like you demanded it. So you are happy and so are your suppliers. Everybody is saved from a lot of time, money, and headaches. So to summarize, what are the advantages of the portal functionality? They save valuable time both for you and your suppliers. They maximize data quality from the source, and they provide a seamless integration into your internal processes so you can get to work right after. Now the time has come, to hand the presentation over to Patrick, who will give a deep dive into the portal. So Patrick, I'm going to give you keyboard and mouse so you can control the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Everybody, welcome to this webinar. Today we're going to zoom into the portal functionality. One of the first things that we're going to talk about is what is a portal catalog in theory and how does it look. Next to that, we're going to take a look at how to create a portal user, how to use the portal as a portal user, how to check the data of the portal user, and finally, how to synchronize the data of the portal user. So let's start with the first thing. What is a portal catalog? Portal catalog is a separate catalog within your application, which allows your suppliers to manage their own data in your PIM application. So they get access to a specific catalog in which they can enrich and create their items. So you only have to evaluate or review the data they have filled in. It's also possible to create a portal catalog for your customers or stores to extract data from your PIM application. Some of the features from the supplier portal. As I already mentioned, you can easily create your own suppliers, customers, or stores as a portal user, or as we also call them, a partner. The suppliers automatically only see their own created items without the need for additional settings. So just creating the partner or the portal user is enough to make sure that they only can see their own items. When needed, it's also possible to create multiple users for one supplier, customer, or store, for instance, per department, if necessary. And as a portal manager, you can easily switch between the assortments of the different portal users. Next, the possibilities of a portal catalog. It supports custom data model and custom validation. So with the support of a custom data model, you can introduce your own fields, your own validations to make sure that all information that you need is being filled in by your suppliers. It's also possible to set them up in combination with our standard data models. So you can create a combination of a custom data model in combination with a standard data model like GS1, GDSN, 2BA, or every data model that we offer. It also supports an approval workflow. So it's possible to make sure that you only get a notification once an item has been ready for you to evaluate and to accept, so that it can proceed within the processes within your organization. And also handy, it can be set up in combination with the DEM functionality. So it's also possible to give your suppliers access to the DEM catalog so that they can upload their own assets for you to be used within your processes. A portal catalog can be linked to another catalog in SOC PIM, for instance, your central catalog. But it's also possible to directly link the portal catalog to an external system via the various interfaces that are available within our application. So next step is to create a portal user. Once a portal catalog has been configured for you, you also get the ability to go to the admin GUI and go to the portal partners tab. On the partners tab, you can set up all the suppliers you need. It is easy as mentioned. It's creating a partner, which is located on the left bottom of the screen. And then you will be asked to enter some necessary data. There are two ways to create a partner. You can create it on top level. So that means that you will create another supplier or customer or store. It's also possible to create an entity for a specific department below a supplier. So that's a level below. Once you have filled in the necessary data and saved the information, the portal user will automatically receive an email that the account has been created, and he will get an introduction link to set up its own password. This also means that the passwords of the portal partners are not known by RCC or you as an organization. They're only known by the portal user himself or herself. Once a portal user has been created and has successfully logged into the portal catalog, they can start using the portal catalog. Every supplier or every portal user or partner will get its own view. So they only see their own created items. And just like a normal PIM user, they can adjust the menu bar and the item list to their own preferences. So they can decide which functions or buttons they want to see. And the same goes for the item list. They can determine which columns they want to see and in which sequence. By using validations, the article data will be validated immediately. This way you make sure that the information required for your organization is filled in completely and correctly so that it can be used for further processing. And it's up to the portal user to make sure that the item is made complete according to your standards. The portal user can also use the SRC PIM Excel functionality to import or export the data from the portal catalog. And it's also possible to introduce an approval workflow for the specific partner, so that the partner at the end, once an item has been complete, also needs to accept the item before it's going to be presented to you and your organization. Well, then checking the data of the portal user. Via the drop-down partner list, the portal manager can easily select the assortment of supplier A, B, etc. By default, you will see all items of all suppliers. For the portal manager, it's also possible to introduce an additional step, accepting the item, so that once you've logged into the system and into the portal catalog, you will see all items that are complete. And as a final step, you can accept them before they will be pushed towards the catalog that's linked behind it or the target systems that are linked behind it. And in this case, also you get a notification by email once an item is ready for you to be reviewed. In addition, it's also possible to make sure that once you accept an item, that the item is automatically synchronized to the target system or the target catalog. Then the final step is synchronizing the data of the portal user. Optionally, you can introduce an additional step, for instance, enriching the article information with your own article number or your own product group. And by default, only modified and new items which have been entered correctly and completely will be synchronized. So this way you will make sure that only items that are completely and correctly by your standard will be sent to the other catalog or the target system. And as already mentioned, the article information can be synchronized manually or automatically, and if desired, in combination with an approval workflow. So once you logged into the portal catalog, it's possible to make sure that you need to manually synchronize. But if needed, we can also make it a scheduled task so that it will be done automatically for all new and modified items which are correct and complete. Just summary, the information can be synchronized to a follow-up catalog in SRC PIM. So for instance, your own central catalog. It can also be synchronized to a target system, and that can be done via the following formats or interfaces. So you can use the SRC PIM XML format, or you can use the SRC PIM Excel format. Of course, it's also possible to retrieve the information via the SRC PIM API. And if that's not sufficient, it's also always possible to create a custom interface. That's it for me for now. So I give back to Peter.
Thanks, Patrick, for that presentation. I saw some questions coming in already. That's really nice. Keep them coming. Meanwhile, before we go to the Q&A, I want to tell you a little about our customer Jumbo and their story towards product data excellence. Jumbo is, of course, one of the largest supermarket chains in the Netherlands. I probably don't have to tell you that. Every year, they welcome over 10 million customers in their 700 shops and on their online ordering and delivery service. Jumbo, of course, holds a huge inventory of food and non-food items, and the volume of data that needs to be collated there is immense, of course. It quickly became apparent to them that working with spreadsheets, PDFs, or emails was causing more challenges than it was solving. Complete article information is required for each and every product in Jumbo's inventory. So what Jumbo wanted was all of the information in one space and on one platform. It's, of course, their master data. For a moment, Jumbo thought of developing product information software themselves, but they quickly turned around from that idea for a bunch of reasons. To quote Remco van Houtert, product owner with Jumbo, he said, "We were looking for the best fit, generic solution, no discussions, short development times. We went to SRC for one solution and they provided a whole host of benefits that went beyond our expectations. They are able to see the bigger picture and the knock-on benefits of the solution they provide. I don't only have a solution to my inventory data issue, I have happier suppliers, happier customers, and happier colleagues." Well, I don't think I could have said it any better than Remco did. So now you know why the title of our webinar is called Who Knew a Portal Could Do So Much? Now, if you want to learn more about this story, more of the technical ins and outs and how Jumbo came to be a SRC customer, download the customer story on our website. It's on src.eu and you can find it under downloads. So now it's time to go to the Q&A. I've seen some questions coming in. That's nice. One of the questions was, is there also a workflow possibility for the supplier side, so for the portal users? Patrick.
Yes, the approval workflow can be set for the portal manager. That's one. so that the portal manager to accept the item before it's processed. It can be set for a supplier as a final step, so accepting the item before your organization gets notified. And the last one is you can also introduce a approval workflow within a supplier per department. So that if you got one supplier with, for instance, 3 departments, you can create an approval within the supplier for all those departments.
So there are a lot of approvals that you can go through, that you can set up, so you actually know that the product information will be correct.
On the wishes and the necessities, what you need. Yeah,
exactly, tailored to what you need. Got it. Another question that came in. Sorry?
It can be tailor-made.
Yeah, I got that. Another question that came in was, is it possible to maintain item data for multiple suppliers, multiple partners?
Yes, for instance, if you got a organization that enriches the data for more than one supplier, it's possible to give them access to our system, but they will need a entity per supplier. So if you got one person or one organization that supplies the information for 2 suppliers, they need 2 accounts.
Yeah. Okay, I hope that solves the question for that person that was listening. All right, I think we're through with the Q&A. Before we leave you today, I just wanted to quickly introduce to you SRC's PIM platform to you for those who aren't familiar with our proposition yet. Our mission consists of helping customers achieve and maintaining product data excellence. By focusing on sharing correct product information throughout the value chain, SRC connects stakeholders. And by meeting demands from your customers and the industry, an easier flow of data through the value chain is possible. We combine the best of both worlds. We visualize this in this visual, which we call the product data value chain. What this visual shows is that whether you're a manufacturer, a retailer, or a wholesaler, every organization has their own challenges when it comes to gathering the right product information from the right sources, processing these in the internal systems, enriching that information again with the data you have yourself, and sharing that information with the market, with your customer, in all kinds of ways. So each organization has very specific challenges to overcome flaws in what actually could be a really streamlined product information process. On top of those challenges, we also added the continuous validation, by which we mean that the product information in our PIM solution is always, so constantly, validated against current market data standards, possibly also your own data model, or as we have seen in this webinar, of course, the portal's data requirements. So now, how do we achieve and maintain the product data excellence? We offer an SRC PIM platform in which you have a core PIM functionality where you can store your product information in a catalog as your one single source of truth in the organization. Your product information is in one trusted place, so you never have to look around anymore, internally or externally, for missing information again. Then, by expanding the core functionality with our add-on modules, you can get more out of your PIM system. Some examples, use, for example, our DAM functionality, digital asset management, for your product imagery, videos, other digital assets you might want to share with the market. Use our workflow functionality. We already discussed this a bit during this webinar, how our workflow works. You have approval processes in place, so your product information is easily enriched by every other department or supplier until it's ready to share with the market. Or use our blending functionality, to give another example, to gather information from different sources, prioritize on an attribute level which source is more trustworthy than the other, to come to a perfect picture. The time in this webinar is a little too short to cover all 16 of them, so please have a look on our website. You will find more information there on every feature mentioned. What you will also find on our website, under the buttons Resources and Company, are our events, news, careers even, have a look at our downloads or upcoming webinars or our blog or our customer stories. There's lots of information to be found on src.eu. Now, Patrick and I have talked a lot in the last half an hour. It's time for you to reach out to us. We are really curious to see how we can help you and your business achieve and maintain product data excellence. Give us a call or contact us at sales@src.eu. We are very eager to get to know you. For now, I want to thank you for your attention. I want to thank Patrick for his presentation. Visit our website for more information and follow our LinkedIn. Patrick, do you want to add something?
No, well, just saying you're welcome. And I've noticed that there are some questions still unanswered. So
Okay.
we'll get back to them. I see, let's see, I think 3 questions. Maybe we can take a little peek at them. Can we also assign items to a supplier instead of suppliers creating items themselves? Yes, that's possible. Another question, is it only push from supplier side, or is it also possible for a retailer to request data from a supplier? Well, I assume that the information from the supplier is already present in PIM, and then we can make it available within the portal catalog for retailers to retrieve the data.
Got it. Thank you, Patrick, for noticing these questions. And
the other question is not a question that I can answer. What's the price model? So I think that's one. Yeah, we'll answer that one even after the meeting. I think.
I would say that's a question for sales@src.eu.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you, Patrick, for checking out those questions. I didn't see them coming in. So again, I want to thank everyone for their attention. Thank you again for the questions, and I wish you all a very nice afternoon. Thank you.
Yes, goodbye.